Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. I don't know if you guys ever spend much time browsing the replays that have been submitted to worldoftanksreplays.com, but well, since patch 9.10 was released, there have been some very, very interesting results if you filter the search results. This screen is filtered by who scored the most frags, the most kills since patch 9.10 came out. And 5 people have submitted replays where they've scored 12 kills. And it's probably not going to come as a great surprise to anybody that 3 of those 5 replays are in the OI Experimental. The Japanese Tier 5 heavy tank, because nobody has a clue where to shoot it yet. One of them in a VK4502P, and this one's quite amusing actually, there it is, the Type 89. Has also scored 12 kills and only did 751 damage. And he got a Kolobanov's medal out of it. That's probably a replay worth watching. Well, you can also filter not just by the amount of kills that people have scored, but also by the amount of damage done. And it probably doesn't come as any great surprise that the top 4 battles with the most damage done all take place on the Ghost Town map in the new Steel Hunt Rampage game mode. And it's not really surprising because in this game mode you get up to 3 respawns. When you're playing as a solo player, it's effectively a death match. You keep going until your tanks are all knocked out, the time limit runs out, in which case the person with the most points wins, or somebody reaches 200 points. So it's not really surprising that people are doing a lot of damage in this game, particularly because of the respawn mechanic. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look at that top scoring game with almost 12,000 damage done in World of Tanks Deathmatch Steel Hunt Rampage. Our driver for the day is going to be the Taipan, and he's in the Batchat 25T. Now this is his own Batchat 25T. If you have your own tier 10 medium or heavy tanks, then you can use those to queue up for this new game mode. If you don't, well, there are missions that you can complete which will unlock rental versions of various different tier 10 heavy and medium tanks, and you can use those to play this game mode as well. The overwhelming majority of the people in this particular deathmatch are all driving rental tanks, mostly IS-7s. There are only actually 4 people in this game driving their own tanks. There's an E100, there's an IS-4, there's an M48 that we're going to see quite a bit of during the course of this match, and then there's the Taipan here in his very own Batchat. And our first victim is a rental IS-7, shot through the wall into the rear drive wheel, trying to immobilise him, possibly set him on fire, tries to do the same from the other end, goes for it again at the rear, but the IS-7 manages to get a shot through the hole in the ruined wall over there, but yeah, he's done. He was also taking fire from this M48 pattern over here. This is Apollo 250, and he's also driving his own tank. You can tell whether somebody's driving a rental or their own tank, because if it's a rental, it will have the letter R in brackets over the name of the machine. And it's as if there's some sort of gentleman's agreement going on here that the guys in their own tanks don't shoot each other and instead work together to defeat the guys in the rental tanks. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but it's definitely what the Taipan in his Batchat and Apollo 250 in his M48 pattern here are going to do during the course of this match, and you would be astounded at how well it works. Taipan's reloaded, just in time for that very unfortunate IS-7 to respawn in a rental T110E5. And Taipan and Apollo start bullying him mercilessly. Now, you'll note that there are a couple of unlocks that you can, well, unlock in this game mode as well. There's an artillery strike and there's an airstrike. He's done enough damage and scored enough kills so far to activate the artillery strike, which he drops on the head of that second incoming rental IS-7. While he's emptied his magazine, he's reloading, and Apollo 250 back there is just having fun with this IS-7, who's completely ignoring him and trying to kill the Taipan. Taipan's taken a big hit, his turret ring has been jammed. With the IS-7 focused on him, Apollo 250 just quite casually finishes him off as the Taipan retreats, gets into cover, waits for his turret to repair, and waits for his magazine to reload. There is another rental IS-7 over there, but, well, the Taipan doesn't have a lot of health left, and it's entirely possible for an IS-7 to one-shot you when you have as little health as this, so he's going to start playing it a little bit cagey. But again, doesn't really have anything to worry about, because there are 2 rental IS-7s over there, but they're fighting each other as much as they're fighting the Taipan and Apollo 250. The one in front, he's done. The Taipan expends the rest of his magazine on the second IS-7 and then pulls back, and oh look, he's activated his artillery strike again. He pummels this guy with a bit of death from above, as Apollo 250's putting some flanking shots in, and the artillery strike does finish him off. So that was nice. Still doesn't have a lot of health, however. Now, you can actually repair your vehicle in this game mode. Have a look there in the centre of the map, and you can quite clearly see it off there in the distance. Right in the middle of town, there's a repair point. You drive into the repair point, you stay there for 4 seconds, and your tank is automatically repaired and replenished. All your ammunition and your consumables are magically replenished as well. But it is a fair old distance away, and, well, he's not really clear to make a run for it just yet. Not with fresh enemy tanks respawning all over the place. Has a look over there to see how Apollo's doing. He doesn't have an awful lot of health left, but you'll note that both Apollo and the Taipan are both still in the tanks that they started the battle with. And they're also leading the scoreboard. Here comes another rental AMX-50B this time, and once again, 2 guys in rentals busy fighting each other as these 2 guys just casually farm damage on them from a distance. Taipan once again emptying his magazine, this time to the AMX-50B. Oh, he's done enough damage to the 50B that he's unlocked his artillery strike yet again, drops it on both the 50B and the T110E5. T110E5 not a rental, but Apollo manages to put the final shot into the 50B. Artillery pummeling that T110E5, he's left him on a one-shot kill. And, you know, it's at more or less this point that I think the penny finally dropped for me, and I realised that these 2 guys are on voice comms. Now, you can't join this deathmatch game mode as a platoon, but what I suspect is going on here is these 2 guys are both on Skype, for example, and they're both hitting the battle button at the same time, and they've ended up in the same match, because how else can you explain the fact that they both decide, without saying a thing to each other in battle chat, both decide at the same time to go for a repair together? But they're not the only ones that have just decided to go for a repair. There's an IS-7 sitting in that repair circle. He's just had a fresh coat of paint applied to his tank, and here he comes, and oh, here comes trouble. He finishes off Apollo 250, but you only have to spend 4 seconds in the cap circle. The IS-7 is not going to reload in time to finish off the Taipan. Bang, there you go, he's repaired. Poor old IS-7. There's also, there it is, a rental T-62A, who, again, it's like, why does nobody shoot at the guys in their own tanks? The IS-7 is done. Finished off by the T-62A. But do you remember the T-110E5 that they failed to finish off? Yep, that one's going to come back to bite you in the arse. There he goes. But once again, artillery is back up. Drops it on the repair zone. Is he going to get the T-110E5? No, no. The T-62A finished him off before he could get into the repair circle. Taipan, halfway through his reload, rushing back to the corner of the map where he can get his back up against the wall, and then disaster strikes. Another IS-7 and an Object 140. Oh, this could be bad. Except the Object 140 is Apollo 250 again. So it's bad news, but it's bad news for that rental IS-7, who, by the way, is the very same guy who was in the T110E5 and the first rental IS-7 and the first T110E5 that these 2 guys just bullied so mercilessly. It's Born from Hell again, and he is not having a very good game, as these 2 guys just keep running into him over and over and over again, and just stomping him into the ground with ruthless efficiency. Taipan safely back into cover again, about halfway through his reload, while Apollo 250 over there keeping an eye open, making sure that the flank is secure, and bang, there you go. I'm not entirely sure if that's a respawning T110E5 who's just missed the shot at the Taipan's bat chat as he unloads artillery on this guy yet again. Or he was just a guy that popped into view range. There goes the artillery strike, and I think Apollo 250 unloaded an artillery strike on this guy as well, because this is one heck of an artillery barrage, as these 2 guys are pretty much ineffectually shooting at each other here and not really scoring any damage. 1 shot left. Look at the artillery going in there, set him on fire. He immediately repairs it. Taipan, ammunition expended, moves up while the guy in the T110E5 is focusing on Apollo 250, getting around him in the Object 140. Personally, in that kind of situation, my money's on the Object 140, and Apollo 250 does in fact get the kill, and oh look, it's Born from Hell again, and that poor guy is probably wishing that he could respawn somewhere, anywhere other than in this corner of the bloody map, as he keeps getting ruffle stomped by these 2 guys working together. Taipan's still in first place, but Apollo 250 has slipped from second place, and now watch them work together to take out this T62A rental without taking any damage themselves. First shot from the Taipan immobilises him. Apollo rams him. In fact, that ramming damage is the only damage he takes in this engagement. Just a full health T62A gone, with no damage taken other than self-inflicted ramming damage. They're going to go for the repair again. It's not like they really need it. But hey, better safe than sorry. Oh, an E100. Not good, not good. And he's taken a hit. Uses the repair kit. Gets into the repair circle. He's got all the time in the world before the E100 reloads. And he's going to get his repair kit back as well as all of his health and all of his ammunition. Artillery strike there, dropped on top of the E100. Probably from Apollo 250 in the Object 140. He's now got round behind him, set him on fire. Fire extinguished. Keeps going for those engine shots. Apollo 250 not having much luck. Everybody seems to be going for him. If they get a choice, they seem to be going for him rather than the Taipan. Oh, he's taking a hit. Don't know who the guy is in the IS-7, but he's not hanging around to find out. Calls in an airstrike this time on the repair circle. Gets some more damage done on that IS-7 as he runs away, reloads and regroups once again. Oh, takes a hit. Enemy tanks everywhere, but he's not hanging around. Every time one of them dies, you see them doing it time and time and time again. As soon as one of them dies, they head back to the same corner of the map, the same respawn point, they regroup, and they go out together, and they do it all again. And there's Apollo 250. This time, he's in his IS-4. Now, remember how this game mode works. The first person to 200 points wins the match, and the game ends. If nobody reaches 200 points, then when the timer runs down, whoever has the most points wins. Now, there's only 40 seconds of this game left, and the Taipan is in the lead with 171 points. Apollo 250 has slipped out of second place. And you know, I think at this point, as Apollo 250 turns his IS-4 into 10 meters of spaced frontal armor for the Taipan's bat chat, there is really no doubt in anybody's mind at this stage that these two guys are in fact working together and communicating over voice comms. But the Taipan's going to have to go for it here. He can't hang around and use Apollo 250's IS-4 anymore. Artillery strike on that enemy IS-4, and it's a doozy. He does a lot of damage to that guy. Look at that. There it goes. Closes in, fires, gets the kill. Looking for another shot, but it doesn't matter. He's done it. 201 points with 1 second left on the clock. So, the burning question on everybody's lips. Is that cheating? I don't think so. I mean, I'm sitting here saying that these two guys are definitely on voice comms and they're coordinating their actions with each other. That's not necessarily the case. They're both in the same clan. I mean, if you were in this game mode and you saw one of your clanmates was also in this deathmatch, I mean, you would probably do the same thing. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. People have been cooperating in deathmatches since deathmatches were invented, all the way back in Doom and Quake 2 and Quake 3. It's nothing new, and it's certainly not against the rules. And as you can see, it's damn effective. Nearly 12,000 damage done, and 2,500 base experience. If I had one issue with this game mode, and if you have a look at Born from Hell there, who poor guy only scored 165 experience in the course of this game, he would probably agree that there's almost certainly some mileage in having some flexibility in the respawn locations, because he stood absolutely no chance whatsoever, constantly respawning in the same position right next to these two guys. It's also worth bearing in mind that the Taipan never lost his tank during the course of this battle, which is highly unusual in a game mode where there are multiple respawns. And when there are multiple respawns in a match like this kind of deathmatch version of World of Tanks, it's not at all surprising to see absolute cricket scores when it comes to the damage done. And that, of course, is why when you go to worldoftanksreplays.com and you filter the battle results by the amount of damage done, the top 4 with over 11,000 damage done in each of the top 4 games are all from this new Rampage Deathmatch game mode. But the 5th highest scoring amount of damage done is not. And that's the game we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed today's video, folks, and I know you're going to enjoy tomorrow's video, unless of course you go to worldoftanksreplays.com and spoil it by downloading the replay and watching it for yourself. In the meantime, as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.